Oh, hello. Hello. It's not, I'm so used to Barg. Shabbat Shalom. It feels like another homecoming being in here. It feels cozy. It is wonderful to be here in Shul together on any Shabbat, of course, and it is particularly wonderful to be back in Freedman, Levit, to see so many of your faces, and it just brings so much joy to my heart, and I hope it brings some joy to your heart as well. We are here not just for Shabbat, but also because it is Father's Day Shabbat. Father's Day is coming up, so we're going to have something special for all the dads and the dad-like folks a little bit later on. Right, well, there's some great dad-like folks. They're heckling me up here. We're going to rise, turn to page 4 for the blessing over the Shabbat candles. You may be seated. We turn to page 5. We welcome our Shabbat angel, Shalom Aleichem, Malchei Hasharet.
Shalom Aleichem, Malchei Hasharet, Malchei Elyon, Mihi Melech Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem l'shalom, Malchei Hashalom, Malchei Barchuni b'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zeichem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Let us go and sing to Adonai. Let us trumpet praise to our protector. Lechun Neranana, page 11.
Lechun Neranana, Lechun Neranana, Lechun Neranana, Adonai. Lechun Neranana, Lechun Neranana, Lechun Neranana, Adonai. Naria, Naria, letzur ishenu, lekadmam panav v'toda.
The heavens shall be glad and the earth rejoice, the sea and its fullness roar. Yismechu Hashamayim, page 14.
Yismechu Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Metagel Haaretz. Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Metagel Haaretz. Hashamayim,
earlier, we thought about Shabbat and the angels that come in when we bring in Shabbat, and now we are going to think about Shabbat as a bride. We turn to page 23 for Lecha Dodi.
וזכור בדיבור אחד השפיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד לשמו אחד לשם ותפארת ולתהילה לך אדוני לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך אדוני לקראת כלה פני שבת שבת לכו ונלכה כי היא מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך אדוני לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך אדוני לקראת כלה we rise when they face the door נקבלה
Be seated. Except for that blessing at the beginning over the candles, we haven't been saying blessings, if you're paying attention. These are psalms. Psalms are poems and songs. The whole point of what we're doing right now is to try to get us in the Shabbat spirit, because we're happy that it's the end of the work week, thank God. Well, for you guys, it's the end of the work week, not for us. It's okay, we get one day off on Mondays, and it's great. And we're just trying to make ourselves happy and excited and look at the world through fresh eyes and say, what a wonderful world we get to live in, which is why we say psalms like this one we're about to do, which says, you gladden me with your deeds, Adonai, and I shall sing of your handiwork. What a wonderful world we live in, and how can you ever be totally down in the dumps if you look around at the world we live in and all the beauty in it, which is why we sing things like Tov Lehodot, page 27.
בבוקר חסדך באמונתך בלילות עלי עשור ועלי נבל עלי היגיון בכינור טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשבחה עליון
Even in the midst of all of our joyous celebrations that the week is over and our recognition that this is a great and beautiful world, we still have some room in our hearts for those in our community whose hearts themselves are very heavy right now, because there are those who are suffering the loss of somebody very close to them, and that is a very painful place to be in. And to you we say, the words of our tradition, may the divine comfort you along with all the other mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. If you are in mourning currently, or if you are observing a yahrzeit, please rise for page 30, the Mourner's Kaddish, if you are observing a yahrzeit or if you are in mourning currently. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra kirotei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, da'amiram be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'imrumav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. I invite now everyone to rise to turn to page 39 for the Baruch and the formal start of our evening ceremony. And verse.
Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
And you may be seated as you turn to page 40, Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael, Beit Yisrael, Amachata, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadta, Al ken Adonai Eloheinu, B'meshach Avinu v'shochleinu v'tumeinu, Nasiach b'chokecha, Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Hafta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadta, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו ובהם נגע יומם ולילה. באהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. Baruch Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Join with me, please.
את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. We continue silently with the paragraphs on page 42.
Adonai Elohechem Emet.
Every Shabbat we recall the miracle of our people going into freedom and the joy with which they sang as they crossed the sea. Moses, Miriam, and the people of Israel joyfully sang to God, "Who is like you, Adonai, among the mighty? Who is like you, adorned in holiness, revered in praise, working wonders?" Micha Mocha, page 44. Allow us, Adonai our God, to sleep peacefully. Awaken us to life, O Sovereign. Hashkivenu, page 45.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim.
the weekly reminder that we all need to take a break at least once a week from the world and have some time with ourselves, our families, and maybe even our God. Vishamru, page 46.
ושמרו ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת שבת ויהי נפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We rise, page 46. We turn to page 47 now for the silent Amidah. This is the time when we have to say the words on the page, the words in your heart, or maybe both. Page 47 through 52.
Page 51. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Tassim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Tassim le'olam. Ki ata hu melech adon l'chol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon l'chol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Tassim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Tassim le'olam. V'tov b'necha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol eil v'chol sha'at tishlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Tassim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Tassim le'olam. Baruch atah Adonai hamevarech et amo Yisrael Time to put your arms around each other. Let's join
We should do it.
in. Shalom Rav. No, we'll say Shalom. Oh, say Shalom. Say Shalom bimromav. Say Shalom aleinu. Shalom aleinu. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imnu. Amen. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imnu. Amen. V'yaseh shalom aleinu. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Oseh shalom bimromav. V'yaseh shalom aleinu. Shalom aleinu. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imnu. Amen. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imnu. Amen. Amen. Amen.
We remain standing. Now we take the opportunity to say a Mishaberach for the Cholim, a prayer for those who are in need of healing. So if there's anyone you know of in your life, Jewish, not Jewish, I want you to hold that name in your heart. Think of that person now as we say the Mishaberach prayer found on the inside back cover of your Siddur.
Mishaberach avoteinu mekor habracha le'imoteinu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing for us and renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
You may be seated as you turn to page 54 for the Kaddish Shalom.
Amen. לעילה מתומכת ושירתה, ושבחדה ונחמתה לאמירן בעלמא, ואמרו אמן. תתקבל צלותון ואומתו לכל ישראל, כבודם אבוני בשמיה, ואמרו אמן. יהי שלום הרבה מן שמיה, וחיים עליהם על כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו
I have not given a sermon with this many people so close to me in like a year and a half. It's nice I can actually see your faces. So, Shabbat Shalom. As a woman rabbi, I get a lot of questions. What does the Torah say about women being rabbis? Nothing. Can women wear a talit and kippah? I hope so. What does the Torah say? What does it say about being a wife or a good wife? Who are the famous Jewish women in the Torah and the Talmud? Not once has anyone ever asked me, what makes a good Jewish father? So I can imagine why that's true, that no one has ever asked me such a question. I am, suffice it to say, many things, but not a father. But I am a rabbi. Now, I have to say, it's part of the job description, I have to tell you, the Talmud very famously teaches a father must do several things for his children. He has to bring them into covenant with God. He has to teach them Jewish wisdom, has to teach them a trade, help them get a job, find them a spouse, teach them to swim. But very, very capable Jewish father, Rabbi Brian Strauss, has stood right here and talked about that very subject. So I assume that y'all are very well informed as far as that's concerned. So what are these other qualities of Jewish fatherhood? Luckily, we have a lot of good Jewish dads to look to for examples. There is Rashi. Rashi, this rabbi from the Middle Ages. He wrote commentary on the Torah and the Talmud. In a sense, he's the father of all of us who want to learn anything from the Torah or the Talmud to really deepen our knowledge of our beautiful and mysterious tradition. But that in and of itself is not what makes Rashi a great Jewish father. Rashi very famously had no sons, which was an unspeakable tragedy in ancient and medieval times. Undeterred, according to sources, Rashi educated his daughters in our ancient texts. He chanced scorn or even condemnation from his peers, but his need to spread the word about our beautiful tradition to his children was too important. And they went and taught other women, and their sons learned from their grandfather Rashi, and they became legendary Jewish scholars in their own right, proving that great Jewish fatherhood is also exemplified through great Jewish grandfatherhood. Or what about a more modern example? Jonas Salk, who famously invented the polio vaccine. Polio ravaged generations of people. It was feared by everyone. Salk developed his vaccine, and he tested it on animal subjects, but he didn't have any human trials. So Salk tested his potentially revolutionary, potentially dangerous vaccine on himself, but not just himself. He tested it on his own sons. He must have been pretty sure it was going to work. But there must have been a little niggling doubt in the back of his mind, which makes me think about how all parents, we make the best decisions we can for our kids. We do the best we can with the information we have because we prize their safety and their health and happiness above everything else. Salk not only preserved his own children's health, but millions of children who later received this wonderful vaccine. But of course, When I think about great Jewish fathers, I think of my own great Jewish father, and also his uncle, my great uncle Milton Ford. Growing up, I was a little confused over great uncle. I called him Grandpa a lot of the time because, who has a great uncle? Great Uncle Milt was my grandmother's elder brother, and their immigrant parents saved and scrimped they could have enough money to send one child to college, and so away my great uncle went. Their reasoning, of course, being one day he would get married, and he'd need to support a family, and my grandmother would get married and be supported. As it turns out, my grandmother ended up being a single mother of 2 boys, and my great Uncle Milt never got married. He became a doctor, however, against all odds. He served in the Air Force. He was stationed not right here, but in Amarillo. And though he never married or had any children of his own, he helped take care of his parents, his sister, his nephews, even his grandnephew and grandniece, until the day he died. Great Uncle Milt never carried the title Grandpa, but I always felt, and I always say, that he's the paternal grandfather that I never had. We talked to him weekly on the phone growing up. We went on family vacations all together. He and my grandmother would come out and visit us no matter wherever we ended up moving, they would come. He helped send me to college. He was so proud to see me go off to rabbinical school. He attended my wedding. He saw me become the rabbi, or a rabbi, of this very synagogue. And he never got to meet his great-grandnephew in person. But I know he would have simply melted. Great Uncle Milt was quiet. He was not a force of personality like my grandma. He worked so hard his whole life. He asked for no accolades, no fanfare. He just worked and cared for and worried over all the time, more than anything, his family. Because that's what great Jewish fathers and uncles and grandfathers and great-uncles and stepfathers and step-grandfathers and all the men who take on the mantle of father do. They dedicate themselves to the well-being of their children and all who are lucky enough to be thought of as theirs. Right now, I would like to ask all the fathers here and all the men who take on that role for somebody to rise as our ark is opened for a very special blessing on this Father's Shabbat. This prayer is written by my colleague, Alden Solovey, who is himself a father. He calls it a prayer for Dad. For our Father, a song of dignity and honor, guardian of mitzvot, keeper of truth, hand of protection and peace, we are blessed with our Father's humor and compassion, their zest for life and zeal for family. They remind us to open our lives to God's majesty and mystery, God's justice and mercy. They remind us to seek radiance and splendor, awe for creation and compassion for each other, and choose joy over grief and laughter over tears. God of fatherly patience and strength, bless all our families with love and all our fathers with vision, endurance, and hope. May their devotion inspire us all to righteousness and charity, guided by Torah. Bless their lives with abundance and their days with vigor, so that they may bring majesty and mystery to our lives and into the world. Blessed are you, God of our fathers, who provides just and righteous men in every generation. And let us all say, Amen. May God protect you and bless you.
יאיר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונך.
May the divine light shine upon you always.
יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך
May all our fathers be blessed with the most special blessings, that of peace. And let us all say, Amen. We all are invited now to rise, to turn to page 56 for the Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוצר שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומשב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינה תוזו, ושכינה תוזו, וגובה מרומים, הוא אלוהינו, אלוהינו, אמת מלכנו, אמת זולתו, תחתו בתורתו, וידעת היום, וידעת היום בשבות בלבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים, בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונעמד והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, היום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד,
You may be seated. Our entire congregational family sends out its deepest condolences to the families of Larry Weiner, Kimberly Sagian, Agnes Rolnick, Gerald Fleischman, Raven, Nancy Edelstein, and Jerry Hooks. If you are currently in mourning or if you are observing a yard site, turn to page 58 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yiroteh ve'amlich malchuteh, b'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'izman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shmei d'kudesha, brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, damiram be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'imrumav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. And may all of our loved ones' memories be for a blessing. You may be seated. We have a few anniversaries to recognize and celebrate tonight, and I hope it wasn't as hot at your wedding day as it is right now, because good for you. Celebrating a mere 48 years, Harriet and Michael Katziff. Harriet, Michael, we're going to clap for them anyway. Some people are still joining us online. We know, wherever you are happy to be moving back into your house after being out for the last 4 months due to the February freeze. You also look forward to your granddaughter Leah's bat mitzvah in November, so mazal tov to Harriet and Michael on 48 wonderful years. Following close behind, Debbie and David Schwartz with 49 years. Now you feel with all the togetherness that you have been so wonderfully blessed to go through this past year. You have learned that even through thick and thin and with very unusually different circumstances, you can endure and grow at any age. So Mazal Tov, 49 wonderful years, Debbie and David Schwartz. Celebrating 51 years, Robin and Lou Dorfman. No one's ever said this before. You say nothing terribly exciting happened to you this past year, but you stayed healthy, and that is an achievement in itself. So Mazal Tov and 51 wonderful years and many years of health to come. Seriously. 54 years is the accomplishment of Toby and Richard Newman. You say that the best thing that happened this past year is you both got vaccinated along with most of your families so that you could celebrate many happy occasions, and you look forward to traveling. Mazal Tov on 54 wonderful years, Toby and Richard. And celebrating 69 years of marriage, Irv and Marcia Wishnow. You are so excited to be celebrating, in addition to the fact that your granddaughter graduated nursing school and she placed successfully, I hope, her first IV, which is good. And you say that you said the one good thing, but I'd say the number one wonderful thing that was your gift this year is you're both just so happy to be alive and well. And every day you say a prayer to God to grant you good health, long life, lots of love, happiness, and togetherness forever. So I hope you have all those things too, and I know we all hope for that for you as well. Mazal Tov, 69 years to Irv and Marcia. And we hope that all of our couples here today and all of our couples throughout our congregation enjoy many years of health, happiness, and only simchas, only good things. Amen. Amen, right? I mean, always, all the time, but especially now. We have only a few announcements that I am blessed to be able to give. If you haven't already heard, but I feel like a lot of y'all have, High Holy Days are coming up. And we are very excited to be here in person for all of our adult services. Beginning in July, you'll start getting information by email and snail mail about our High Holy Days, and as in previous years, High Holy Day tickets will be mailed to all members in good standing later this summer. We hope to see many of you also this summer, if you're comfortable coming on in, as so many of you are, anyone watching at home. And we look forward to welcoming many, many more of you back in September for the High Holy Days. Hopefully, you had a chance to clean out your closets and bring in your new or gently used menswear to donate to Career Gear. I've already seen in this lobby and the administration lobby, we've collected lots of formal and also business casual wear for Career Gear of Houston, which was our charity that we have been supporting in honor of Father's Day. Career Gear of Houston empowers low-income men by offering the professional attire and career coaching necessary to gain employment. If you missed the collection today, don't you worry. You can drop off items Monday in the admin office all day. And a big thank you to everyone who already donated. So much thanks to you for your generosity, and really makes a big difference in our community what we can do for these men. Sunday, June 27th, our sisterhood will be hosting another virtual bingo program. If you joined last time, you know how much fun everyone had. It was so well attended and just was such a thrill. You can find the registration on our website calendar. It's open to the congregation, and you can have your friends, kids, grandkids to join you. And the nice thing about bingo is that everybody can play it. 100 Jewish men having their annual honey fundraiser, and it has already begun. You can order your kosher 8-ounce jar of honey for yourself or as a gift for family and friends. Each jar is just $13, and that includes shipping within the United States. If you order by July 7th, you can find the order link for that on our homepage. Lots of fun stuff on our website, I would say in general, so always a good idea to check that out. And we have children here who are being so well behaved and wearing their masks and being so wonderful. So before we do our kiddush and just the Kiddush. I would like all of our parents to put a hand on their children. We'll start, and if your child is here and they're an adult, they're still a child. Everybody's somebody's child. So over all of our girls, we'll say, Yisimech Elohim Kesara Rivka Rachel Vayam. God bless you and make you like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. And over all of the sons who are here, of a variety of ages, I see, say, Yisimcha Elohim Ke'Ephraim Echem Menashe. May God bless you and make you like Ephraim and Menashe. And over all of our children, I would like to say, Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ye'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God grant you all blessings, but especially that of shalom, peace. And let us all say, Amen. Please rise, turn to page 55 if you'd like for the Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho b'yahava uvratzon inchilanu zikaron lema'aseh bereshit ki hu yom techila למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים, כי באנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת, מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון, הנחלת. Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom Shabbat 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 Shalom Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom Shabbat 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 Shalom Shabbat 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 Shalom Shabbat 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 Shalom Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Happy Father's Day. Have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful Shabbat.